Thanks for joining us on Plus TV Africa. My name is Felicity Ezewike. Zimbabwean police have taken former finance minister and opposition leader Tendai Biti into custody on Thursday after Zambian authorities rejected his bid for asylum and deported him. Biti, whose People's Democratic Party had formed an election alliance with Chamisa's Movement for Democratic Change, MDC, had been in hiding since last week and had feared for his life, his Zimbabwean lawyer said.
The former finance minister and opposition leader in Zimbabwe has been taken into custody by Zimbabwean police after Zambian authorities rejected his bid for asylum and deported him. Police in Zimbabwe were looking for Biti and 8 other opposition figures for allegedly fueling violence following a disputed national election in which President Emmerson Mnangagwa was declared the winner. Biti's Zimbabwean lawyer Nkobesitha Mlilo said the former minister had been in hiding since last week and had feared for his life after his People's Democratic Party had formed an election alliance with Chamisa's Movement for Democratic Change. 6 people were killed last week in an army crackdown on post-election protest against the victory of Mnangagwa's ruling ZANU-PF party. Mnangagwa's main rival, opposition leader Nelson Chamisa, has accused the government of clamping down on members of his party. The post-election turmoil is reminiscent of contested elections during the long rule of Robert Mugabe, who was toppled last November in a de facto military coup. He was replaced by his former intelligence and defense chief, Mnangagwa, who pledged to hold free and fair elections.
South Sudan President Salva Kiir has given an amnesty to all those involved in the nation's civil war, including rebel leader Riek Machar, state-run television has said, days after the signing of a peace deal. Republican Order Number 14 for the year 2018 for the grant of general amnesty to the leader of SPLMIO, Riek Machar Teni, and other estranged groups who waged war against the government of the Republic of South Sudan from 2013 to date. Kiir's order, read on state-run television late on Wednesday, stated 5 Kenyan soldiers have been killed in an attack claimed by the Somali group Al-Shabaab in Lamu County on Kenya's north coast on Wednesday, a senior official said. The attack occurred between the areas of Majengo and Bordie. The soldiers were killed after their truck ran over an improvised explosive device. We heard a blast shortly after KDF, Kenya Defense Forces, choppers were patrolling in the air, the official told Reuters. The All Progressive Congress, which had on Tuesday absolved itself from the invasion on Wednesday, has now defended the action of the Department of State Services operatives. The APC claimed that the action of the DSS officers was taken to prevent a plot by the President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, to incite violence. This is according to the APC National Publicity Secretary Yekini Nabena. The APC's new position is in sharp contrast to the position it took soon after the invasion on Tuesday, when it condemned the DSS action and disassociated itself from it. The APC said on Wednesday that the timely intervention of the security operatives averted a potential loss of life, injuries and destruction of property. Nabena alleged that Saraki mobilized thugs to the National Assembly, adding that the new position was the product of an investigation. The chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission INEC, Professor Yakubu Mahmood, has assured that the National Assembly may consider the 2019 general elections budget of 242 billion naira for passage next week. Mahmood made this known in an interview with newsmen after an executive session with the leadership of the National Assembly on Wednesday in Abuja. He said the Commission had been assured of the National Assembly's commitment to an efficient election and would do what is necessary to make that a reality. The most important thing to say is that INEC was invited to meet with National Assembly leadership on how the proposed budget for the 2019 elections can be speedily considered and appropriated by the National Assembly. Federal lawmakers have met with officials of Nigeria's Independent National Electoral Commission INEC to fast-track approval of funds needed for the 2019 general elections. President of the Senate, Dr. Bukola Saraki, and Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, assured the INEC chairman that the legislature would do everything possible to ensure the electoral body gets the funds needed for the upcoming general elections expected to hold in February next year.
The purpose of today's meeting is to get a feedback from you, what those requests are, the time frames for some of the things you need to, and the kind of funding that is required, and then we can now be able to come up with a decision to see how best we can assist you. I'm more committed than ever to ensure that we have an election in 2019 that is not only free, it's safe, credible, and as I always keep on saying, even better than what we did in 2015.
Our electoral process has been fair to a certain degree, and we mustn't go below that standard. So I want to reiterate the fact that as leaders of the National Assembly were committed to appropriating whatever is needed within the confines of the resources of the nation.
And we want to thank you for the leadership, and we also want to thank you for the assurance that the Commission of the Nation will not be constrained in any way in carrying out the activities of the 2019 general elections. We have finished the planning processes. We are now on the path of implementation, and that is why we require funding for us to proceed immediately.
We will take a quick break. Stay tuned for more news when we return. The bank account of the Akwa Ibom state government has been frozen by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. This was made known on Wednesday by the State Commissioner for Information, Charles Udo. Udo said state authorities only learned of the development and there were no prior indication from the anti-graft agency. A spokesperson for the EFCC is yet to respond to requests for confirmation. This is coming just as the governor, Samuel Autumn, raised an alarm that the EFCC has frozen Benue State bank accounts, trapping workers and pensioners' salaries in a state beset by hardship following months of deadly attacks by suspected headsmen. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Governors Forum and Governor of Zamfara State, Abdulaziz Yeri, has also described the freezing of Benue State accounts by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission as unconstitutional. Governor Yeri disclosed this after a closed-door meeting with the acting president, Yemi Osibanjo, in Abuja. The Benue State government, reacting to the action taken by the anti-graft agency, described it as a political witch hunt. The Governors Forum chairman is also of the opinion that the move by the EFCC was wrong, adding that the state has suffered a backdrop of security challenges, which has claimed the lives of many. He called on the federal government to address the situation. The People's Democratic Party has called for the immediate unfreezing of the official accounts of the Akwa Ibom and Benue State's government blocked by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The PDP, in a statement issued by its National Publicity Secretary, Kola Ologodiyan, on Wednesday in Abuja, called on acting President Yemi Osibanjo to immediately order the EFCC to unfreeze the accounts. He described the action of the anti-graft agency as a direct attack on innocent Nigerians in the two states. He also said the act is illegal, unconstitutional, overtly wicked, and unjustifiable under any law and practice of Nigeria. He advised the presidency not to hide under the EFCC to unleash punishment and hardship on the people in the states perceived to be opposed to the All Progressive Congress APC 2019 re-election bid. When we return, we will bring you updates on the Indonesian earthquakes, the Argentina abortion bill, and more. Don't go away. Indonesia's President Joko Widodo will formally register as a candidate in a 2019 presidential election on Friday. And this is according to the news website baritasatu.com. Indonesia, the world's third largest democracy and biggest Muslim majority country, goes to the polls in April. Candidates for president and vice president have until Friday to register their nominations. A 6.2 magnitude aftershocks hit Indonesia's Lombok on Thursday, triggering fresh panic after a series of tremors had killed over 150 people in the past 2 weeks. According to the spokesman for Indonesian Disaster Mitigation Agency, Sutopo Purwo Nugroho, evacuees and people ran out of their houses when they felt the strong shake of the 6.2 magnitude quake. The official death toll from Sunday's 6.9 magnitude earthquake stands at 131, although some officials put the number at 347. 3 Palestinians and a Hamas militant are reported to have been killed in a series of Israeli airstrikes on the Gaza Strip after militants there fired dozens of rockets into southern Israel. Gaza Health Ministry officials said a pregnant woman and her daughter, aged 1, were killed in the Jafar Rawi area. Israeli media said several civilians were hurt by rocket fire and in other towns near the Gaza border. The violence came as the UN and Egypt attempted to broker a long-term ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, the militant Islamic group that dominates Gaza. UN Middle East envoy Nikolai Mladenov said he was deeply alarmed. Argentina's Senate has rejected a bill which would have legalized abortion in the first 40 weeks of pregnancy. After a marathon debate, 38 senators voted against it and 31 in favor. Its defeat means lawyers must wait until next year to resubmit legislation. Currently, abortion is allowed in Argentina only in cases of rape or if the mother's health is in danger. Demonstrators on both sides of the debate rallied outside Parliament as voting took place. Up next is our business report with Edidiong Iwang.
And this is Business. I'm Edidiong Iwang. Well, the Naira yesterday appreciated to 362 Naira and 8 kobo in the investors and exporters window despite the 49% decline in volume of dollars traded. While data from FMDQ showed that the indicative exchange rate for the window dropped to 362 Naira and 8 kobo per dollar yesterday from 362 Naira 30 kobo per dollar on Tuesday, and that's indicating a 22 kobo appreciation of the Naira. The volume of dollars traded in the window yesterday, however, declined by 49% to $146.85 million from $282.21 million on Tuesday. While on the other hand, the Naira yesterday depreciated by 10 kobo to 358.4 Naira per dollar in the parallel market. The Federal Executive Council in Nigeria has approved the sum of 17 billion Naira for the installation of mechanism under the Petroleum Equalization Fund to monitor fuel distribution and eliminate subsidy fraud. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ibe Kachuku, says although the project has a 3-year lifespan, it would start yielding results by the time the 2020 budget will be prepared next year. The minister explained that the device would also put to an end the conflicting figures on the nation's actual fuel consumption per day. Well, for the first time in the history of Nigeria, the official launch of the Association of Securities Exchange took place at the Nigerian Stock Exchange on Wednesday, while the landmark event aims at building a stronger Nigerian capital market. Our correspondent Irene Ubani reports.
The association provides a forum for its members to unite and form a central voice to advocate for government policies that will help deepen the capital market whilst guarding the interest of its member exchanges. It also offers an opportunity for collective capacity building and trainings within the Nigerian capital market.
we have some set objectives and goals. First of all, we are the hub of economic development. We are the source by which, we are the barometer by which the progress of the economy is going to be measured. Indeed, it just makes sense for us to be speaking the same language rather than for us to be having different indexes all over the place.
It's still one big financial market with several segments where each of them are operating, and each one is important in terms of where the government wants to take the economy to.
That is reflective of the current mood in the country as we prepare for another election cycle. As people make investment decisions, they tend to like certainty in making those decisions.
Well, that's it on business news, but still ahead on Plus TV Africa News is our roundup on entertainment and sports. Don't go away.
And in entertainment, oil magnate Femi Otedola has revealed that he's going to sponsor the education of an 11-year-old child star, Megabyte. The business tycoon made this revelation via his Instagram post, and according to the billionaire, he invited Megabyte to his office, and he says the young rapper inspired him, and for this reason he has decided to pay for his education all the way through to university. Nollywood actress Kate Henshaw has praised Nollywood director Kunle Afolayan as she bags a nomination at the Africa Movie Academy Awards 2018. Her role in the director's movie Roti has earned her the nomination, and according to her, Kunle pushed her, and there were times that she resented him, but he wanted what he wanted. She went on further to say the rest of the crew were truly amazing, and this nomination is for us all, she concluded. The movie Roti also stars Fatia Balogun and Toyin Oshinaike and tells the tale of a couple who lose their son to a brief illness, and the wife later sees a boy who looks like her dead son, which renews her grief and eventually sends her into depression. South African hip-hop star Linda Mkhize, popularly known as Pro Kid, has died. According to a statement by members of his family, he suffered a severe seizure attack while on Wednesday, the 8th of August. Paramedics were immediately called to the scene to revive him. Unfortunately, all efforts proved abortive. Pro Kid is survived by his mother, father, wife, daughter, brothers, and extended family. South African Minister of Arts and Culture, Nathi Mthethewa, says about the loss, we're deeply saddened by the tragic passing of a lyrical genius, pioneering hip-hop artist Linda Mkhize, Pro Kid. Pro Kid took rapping in an African language to great heights, and he will go down as one of the greatest and most influential hip-hop artists of his generation. And that's it on entertainment, the very best in sports, right after this.
Hello and welcome to Sports Updates on Plus TV Africa. I'm Morun Folukufeji. Starting off with the local scene, the Nigeria Taekwondo Federation has reached a partnership agreement with the South Korean Embassy to host the annual Korean Ambassador Cup Taekwondo Championships. The 2018 edition of the competition has now been scheduled to hold from the 4th till the 6th of October in Abuja. In addition, the weight categories have been expanded from 8 in the 2017 edition to 23 in this year's edition. The juniors categories have been added to the competition for the first time since the championship started in the 80s. The latest Dado Gen 2 technology and World Taekwondo rules will be employed at the Taekwondo competition for the first time at the National Senior event. Online registration is expected to run from the 20th of August till the 20th of September. Over 400 athletes from Nigeria and other West African countries will feature at the Taekwondo Championships. Moving on to transfer news, former Arsenal player Bakary Sagna has signed for Major League Soccer club Montreal Impact. His transfer was announced by the club in the late hours of Wednesday. The 35-year-old has been a free agent since leaving Italian Serie A side Benevento, who were relegated from the top flight last season. He joined Benevento in February on a short-term contract until this summer with the option of another year. However, both parties decided to part ways. The former Manchester City right-back has now signed the same deal with Montreal Impact FC of Canada. The French defender spent 7 years at Arsenal and thereafter joined Premier League champions Manchester City as a free agent in 2014, where he remained until his 3-year contract expired in 2017. He made 65 appearances for the French national team from 2007 to 2016. And finally, 29-year-old Lucas Perez becomes West Ham's 9th signing under new manager Manuel Pellegrini as he joins the Hammers from Arsenal for a reported fee of £3 million on a 3-year contract. Perez joined Arsenal from Deportivo La Coruña in August 2016 for £17 million and spent last season on loan back at the Spanish club, scoring 8 times in 35 La Liga appearances. Having scored just 7 goals in 21 appearances for the Gunners, the forward struggled to make an impact at the Emirates and was in search for first-team football. That's it from Sports Updates on Plus TV Africa. For more updates on sport, do log on to our website at www.plustvafrica.com/sports. I'm Moronfolu Kufeji.
Thanks, Moronfolu. And that's our news roundup of events at this hour. For more news update, please follow us on Plus TV Africa on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube page at Plus TV Africa. We'll be back later with more stories making the headlines. So please join us again. My name is Felicity Ezewike. Have a great day.